Hi there, welcome to the Annuity Man live event. Today's topic is the Iran, whatever you want to say, war and annuities. Now we're going to open things up for questions. If you've ever been on one of my live events before, I answer the questions. Nothing's out of bounds. It's real time. We're also going to have a replay of this as well. A little bit about the Annuity Man if you're new to the building and new to me. I'm the America's annuity agent, top independent agent in the country. I'm the founder of what's called CGO, Contractual Guarantees Only strategy, because we only look at annuities for what they will do, not what they might do. We're based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Everybody in the building's licensed in all 50 states. We're also licensed in Puerto Rico. We have a Spanish division, but nobody here is on commission. Yes, we get paid commission from an agency standpoint, but nobody is on commission. They're on salary and they're incentivized by if you do well, and if you, from the standpoint of the process. Did the process go smoothly? Are you happy with how it transpired, etc.? But they're not incentivized to sell. They're not a hammer looking for a nail. So if you go to my site at theannuityman.com, you can run quotes 24/7, 365. We're quoting all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee for your situation. Typically, we only ask two questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? That'll determine, A, if you need an annuity, and B, if you need one, which one is going to provide the highest contractual guarantee. And remember that the acronym I use for what annuities solve for, that acronym is PILL. P stands for principal protection. I stands for income for life. L stands for legacy. Other L stands for long-term care. Now, before I get going, one last little item. If you see this hat, everyone, I wear my little standing annuity hats. We have a shipment of these in, big shipment. If you're a client watching this and you don't have one, send me an email, stan@theannuityman.com. I'll send you one immediately. If you're thinking about being a client, I'll send you one as well, no obligation. We just need a shipping address, stan@theannuityman.com. Just email me that until we run out, but just my way of saying thanks. So let's get started. Let's talk about what's happening, and check the date if you're watching this down the road. I mean, at the time of this taping, we're in the middle of the war with Iran, and the proactive approach that our administration and the administration of Israel have taken against Iran. I'm not political whatsoever. I'm contractual. People will say, are you political? Are you Republican? I'm Democrat. No. MAGA means make annuities great again. I mean, I am not political. We first of all, the reason I say that is I always tell people, think of the dumbest person you know on the planet. Close your eyes and just think of the person that you last talked to. When you talked to them, you walked away feeling like you lost IQ. That person's vote nullifies yours. There's nothing that we can do right now about the Iran war. It's going to play out. But what I want you to do is get aggressive in your thinking on your portfolio, your plans, and what you want to do. Okay? In my opinion, this is not the Black Swan event. Black Swan event, for the people that are kind of Wall Streeters, and that's where I grew up and worked primarily before I came Stan the Annuity Man, is Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, Payne Weber, UBS. I worked in World Trade Center 2, Tower 2 before it fell. That was when I was with Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley. So I've been there, done that, seen a lot, been through some events in my 30-plus year career. Obviously 9/11, the dot-com issue. I've seen a lot happen. So this is just another event. I'm not sure what's going to happen from here, but I do think it's a little bit more volatile than what we've seen in the past. I'm not here to give political commentary. If you want to do that, follow your confirmation bias and watch whatever cable news channel tells you what you want to hear, because we can't get news and we can't get the real information. What I want this to be for you is a defining moment, a fork in the road. They always say, if you come to the fork in the road, pick it up. That's what they say in the South. At this point in time, I want you to say, okay, we're here. Unless you're a trader, unless you trade 24/7, you need to reevaluate what you're doing, in my opinion, having been there. And I want you to think for a second. If you don't have institutional access and can trade 24/7, the markets are open, 9:30 to 4 for you and I. Good luck, because in this situation, you wake up and you see oil has moved or whatever you're interested in. So if you're a trader, fine, that's great. But even if you're a trader, you need to think about what does it mean to de-risk the portfolio? What does it mean to go to the sidelines? What does it mean to transfer risk, not shoulder risk? So if you're in the market, as you know, you're shouldering risk. With annuities, and there's many types, you're transferring the risk. You're transferring the risk to the annuity company to do one of those four things: principal protection, income for life, legacy, long-term care. Do not buy anything out there that's being pitched for market growth or potential market growth or market upside with no downside. The index annuity type pitch, that's ridiculous. Index annuities were put on the planet in 1995 to compete with CD returns, and in the biggest raging bull market since 1995, they've returned CD returns. That's fine. They're a principal protection product. We love them from the standpoint of delivering the income rider guarantee for future income. That's how we primarily use them at this time. But what I'm trying to point out is there's no packaged product out there in the annuity world that can perfectly deliver the market growth that you have either been shown or promised, but it's not guaranteed. Remember, annuities are a contract between you and the issuing life insurance company. Life insurance companies issue annuities. So if it's a contract, then you need to buy the contractual guarantees. If you do not, if you buy the dream, you're going to find out a couple years later that you own the contractual realities of the policy. So what does this have to do? So, okay, the war is going on. Don't care where you land politically, but you're saying, okay, what do I do here? There's a couple of things. Obviously, you can go to the sideline. What does the sideline mean? In my opinion, that could either mean CDs and money markets, which we don't sell, treasuries, which we don't sell, or MYGAs, multi-year guarantee annuities, which is the annuity version of a CD. That's a MYGA, M-Y-G-A. If you go to my site, you can pull up the best fixed rates in the country. You can download owner's manuals on all of these products that I'm talking about. I've written that. That's for free. And obviously, I've done a zillion YouTube videos. You know, I dominate the YouTube space in the annuity world. Number one YouTuber on the planet when it comes to annuities. You can go down the rabbit hole. The other thing, too, and I encourage you to do this, I do have a great team in place in Las Vegas. I have a group that they have two teams. One team just does policy delivery and applications, and then the other team talks to you if you want to go through specific situations. And you know, okay, Stan, what will we do here? They're talking through me. I mean, or I'm talking through them, and I'm involved in every case. I oversee every case. If the case is over $1 million, I typically take it over myself. But I'm involved whether it's $25,000 all the way up to $10 million. I'm overseeing it. I'm approving it. My hand's all over it. So you can email me, stan@theannuityman.com, or you can call into the office at 1-800-509-6473. Get your questions ready. I'm going to go over a couple things. I got a couple notes here. You know, people always talk about volatility meaning opportunity. Once again, I think that volatility can also mean, you know, risk. It also can mean opportunity for a trader. But just look at the oil prices that's happened in the last couple of weeks. You know, most people think it's going to go to some stratospheric level or catastrophic level, I guess. But it's just ranging up and down. And there's people in the oil trading business that's getting their shorts handed to them because no one can predict it. And my comment is no one can predict, even you, what's going to happen. What you can predict is how you de-risk the portfolio. Can you time markets? No. Can you time interest rates? No. Life expectancy tables you can't time because it's about your life, is how long you live. If you're looking at lifetime income products right now, in my opinion, I did a live event on this, artificial intelligence is going to shorten the time period for medical breakthroughs. And what you're going to see is life expectancy tables lengthen out because the insurance companies are going to be able to prove that you're going to live longer, which means the payments will be lower. Right now, life expectancies, if it's just on U.S. life expectancy, if it's on your spouse, life expectancies, in my opinion, are a bargain. Interest rates, I need you to listen here. Interest rates play a secondary minor role in the pricing. You just have to, it's just a fact. I mean, I get emails all the time, I'm waiting on the Fed for lifetime income. Then you're only looking at about 10 to 20% of the pricing of a lifetime income product. I just think it's a bargain right now. The other reason is GLP-1s, the weight loss drugs and the injections that's now turned into pill form. That's going to lengthen out everyone's life expectancy as well. I do think that the Iran war is also going to kind of push us to be thinking about lifetime income from an annuitization standpoint. Creating a lifetime income. Annuitization products are immediate annuities, deferred income annuities, qualified longevity annuity contracts. They all have the underlying structure that's the same, okay? No moving parts, no annual fees, no market attachments. It's a straight transfer of risk pension that's going to pay as long as you're breathing and or on a respirator. And we can structure it so that 100% of any unused money goes to the listed beneficiaries and the evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny. I think that if, I was listening to a podcast the other day, a very smart person, and they were talking about the portability of money and where we're headed. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I live my life. I live it for the day. I try to maximize the day. I'm all about contractual guarantees. 100% of my money's there, just because that's where I came from, an environment where we didn't have a lot of money. My wife did as well. And so we try to, use Warren Buffett's rule of rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. So, that's kind of the way that we're looking at this. But let's talk about some avenues that's you need to probably put in your mind. I think personally that COVID was somewhat of a test, to see if the society would acquiesce and follow rules, and what the governments found out is they would. I'm not sure that we're going to get that again if they threw COVID at us or something like that. I'm not sure we'd have full compliance, but they realized that a lot of this country would comply. I do think that crypto is a test as well. I'm not saying that I'm not sure Bitcoin or whatever coin out there you think is the best is going to be the winner at the end of the day. I don't think that any countries or global economy is going to allow one coin to control that side. I think we're going to a digital currency. We're going in that direction, and there's nothing we can do about it, period. You can buy as much gold as you want or silver as you want, but at the end of the day, when you need bread, what do you do when you go to the grocery store? Do you shave off some gold and get it? I don't know, but I do think that the governments, and this is going to be a while, it's going to take a while, they're going to want to control that asset through a crypto and through an algorithm where they can either tax you real time, and I do think that's going to happen. I think eventually that the IRS will be able to tax you on a daily basis on what you do, and there won't be an April 15th. And I'm not going down a rabbit hole. I've been here a long, long time, and I'm always watching this. So I do think there's going to be some global crypto as well. I also think that the Iran war is going to, obviously it's raising oil prices, it's raising gas prices. When you raise gas prices, you're going to raise prices for consumers, to get food, obviously, because the trucks are delivering the food. But it's also going to really hit hard that bottom 50% of the country. I always tell people, when you drive down the road, over 50% of the public on the road with you, their net worth is in their front pocket. So I say, be careful flipping people off. Be careful who you flip off. They might have nothing to lose. And I saw the other day that the stats were, 70% of the people right now are having trouble paying health insurance, car insurance. I think over 60% of baby boomers have less than $10,000 to their name. Why am I saying all this? Because you probably have been the person to scrimp and save and put money away and do without, okay? And what I'm going to tell you is you might not consider yourself the evil rich, but the evil rich, you're going to be classified as that, okay? You're going to be classified as that. So let's see. We've got some questions. These are being emailed to me, so Zeke, hold on for a second. These are people emailing. You can email me at stan@theannuityman.com, or you can sign up here. That's fine. But the question, in essence, and I'm going to kind of synopsize. I'm reading from my laptop that's to the left here. They're talking about oil and how oil is going to affect life insurance companies, etc. And am I worried about life insurance companies and private credit? So let's go backwards a little bit. Private credit is new to this space. It's really not touching annuity companies that we work with in a big way, but we're keeping an eye on it. And private credit is obviously what it sounds like. It's credit that's being given out to corporations, and there's not much regulation to it, which isn't good, and we're having some issues with that. I do think right now that if you're going to buy lifetime income, it has to be with a company that's A plus rated or better. My little saying is A plus or better. You don't need a sweater. And I don't think that the A plus companies are going to have any issues going forward. Whatever happens with the Iran war, whatever happens going forward politically and globally. But some of the smaller ones might. I mean, they really might. So we're keeping a close eye on that. I look at ratings. I look at, there's 4 primary rating services: AM Best, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch. We don't look at Weiss, and if you want to ask me, you can email me or call me, and I'll tell you why. Nothing against them. But those 4 rating services primarily look at life insurance companies. That's fine. We look at that. But I do more, and I have a couple of buddies that work with me in the brokerage firms that are now retired, and I have them on retainer that's always looking at the financials of these companies to see if there's anything wrong. But A plus or better, these are really, really strong companies, and we're not going to have any issues with that. And I know the people out there about what happens if an A double plus company goes out of business. My comment to that is grab your loved ones and play the song by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young called "Love the One You're With." I think they did that because it's a wrap. I mean, if those big companies like that go out of business, we are in some serious issues. So getting back to the question, which is about private credit, etc., we're watching it. And I know that one of the big firms, it might be BlackRock, don't hold me to that, had a private credit fund that they kind of halted some of the liquidations on that or put some limitations on that. That's certainly a red flag. And it's certainly that, if Congress would do anything, it'd be to not let these these big things start up that they're not overseeing. My question is, and I don't know the true answer to this, is the SEC doing anything with that? But it could cause a little bit of a meltdown, which leads us back to the topic, the Iran war and annuities. What are you doing to de-risk your portfolio and take things to the sideline? If you've been thinking about building that income floor and adding to the lifetime income stream that you're getting with Social Security or with a pension, which is also an annuity, both of those are annuities, or you've got required minimum distributions coming out every year, you've reached that age, that's really an annuity payment because you're taking it out annually regardless of whether you need it or not. What is that income floor? My thought on this isn't a sales pitch. I'm just trying to give you food for thought and to engage with us, and you can run quotes into your heart's content on my site. I mean, millions of quotes run through my site. So I have no problem with you just shopping around and kicking tires to see what the guarantees are. But you need to start thinking income floor. What's my income floor? Have I shored that up? If someone has come to you and said, you don't need an annuity, we can just manage your money and take out 4%. They call it in the business the 4% rule, of course, which means that don't buy an annuity, but don't buy a lifetime income stream. Don't transfer the risk, shoulder the risk, and we'll take the 4% out of the gains. Okay, that's great when you have gains all the time. In a raging bull market in the last few years, it's worked like a charm. But what happens if this situation continues? I would rather your income floor not be attached to markets. That's the best thing that you could ever do, is have it non-correlated, non-attached to the markets, so that whatever happens, happens. If the Dow goes up and down, great. If the S&P 500 goes up and down, great. If NASDAQ goes up and down, great. If Bitcoin goes up and down, great. If there's problems with private credit, great. Who cares? You have your income floor in place. Now, what normal people, and here's another one, Zeke, coming into my my email, which is talking about, really in essence, it's a guy from Wisconsin, thank you, talking about inflation. What are we going to do? Because what happens if this creates inflation, this Iran war? What do we do? Is there products out there that we can put in place to combat inflation? The answer is no. Now, if you ask 10 annuity agents or advisors, I'm the only one that's going to tell you the truth and say no. Maybe there's a couple more, but some of them are going to say, no, I've got that product. They don't have that product. The way to solve for inflation using annuities, okay, is to, at the time you need to fill in that gap for income floor. Give you an example. You got an income floor of $5,000 and inflation hits, hyperinflation hits, you need an additional $1,000. What we do is we can run a reverse engineer quote solving for the $1,000 and choosing an A plus or better carrier that requires the least amount of money to create that lifetime income stream. And remember, again, we can structure it so that the evil annuity company doesn't keep a penny, yet they're on the hook to pay. And if you want to set it up with your spouse, it's going to continue as long as one of you is breathing. So, I got a call the other day, and the guy says, what do we do with hyperinflation? And my answer is, I don't know. There's nothing you can prepare for or buy that's going to solve for that. Even though there's people out there that say they have that product. They do not have that product. And anytime someone says, well, my income stream with this annuity increases because every time the index increases, the income stream increases. Well, that might be true to a point, but what the annuity company does is severely lower the payment. Just a visual for you. Here's the annuity without the increase. Here's the annuity with the increase. Probably a lot lower visually, but it typically is a 7 to 9 year break-even point as kind of a general rule to make up for it. It's kind of like when you do a Roth IRA. I'm not a big fan of Roth IRAs just because you got to trust the government not to change the rules, and they told us a long time ago that Social Security would never be taxed. But when you pay, I always tell people, nothing wrong with Roth IRAs, but you have to factor in the upfront money that you paid into it and how long it's going to take from a return standpoint to make up for that within your Roth IRA to become whole. I understand that the tax-free income nature of it, but you got to be really careful. Let's see, emails. Zeke, here comes another one. The question is primarily about tax-free income and where does tax-free income come from. First of all, I think the best source of tax-free income, in my opinion, because I should do this at Morgan Stanley and manage this asset class, is tax-free municipal bonds. Again, I'm not securities licensed anymore, but been there and done that with Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, Payne Weber, UBS. So the point is that is a very good source. And I'm not talking about funds, municipal bond funds, and if that's the only place you go, you can go, but you got to look at the leverage of that, the tax, how they're managing the taxation of that. But tax-free municipal bonds, the reason I say that, some funds are just not run well, or if it's a closed-end bond fund or something like that, you got to be very careful because sometimes that's leverage. I'd rather you look at tax-free municipal bonds on a regular issue. The other one is obviously Roth IRAs. If you put an immediate annuity or a deferred income annuity inside, or an income rider inside of a Roth IRA, that lifetime income is tax-free, and unless they change the rules on that. The other thing, and there's another question I want to get here, Zeke, that just came on the screen, not the email, but there's one more in the email too. If someone approaches you about a life insurance product and says that's tax-free income, it's not tax-free income, it's a loan. When you go to the bank and you take out a loan and they give you money, is that tax-free income? The answer is no, it's a loan. When you buy a life insurance policy and take money out of a life insurance policy, that's not tax-free income, that's a loan. So be careful with some of the sales pitch semantics out there that people are using, because you're going to find out that that's not tax-free income from a life insurance policy, that's a loan. And those products are big built-in commissions, so be careful. Let's look at, I'm reading this off the screen. Can an annuity guarantee lifetime income be counted toward required minimum distributions? The answer is yes. So let's talk about that a couple ways. And again, this solves for de-risking your portfolio because you're putting a lifetime income stream in place. But there is something called a qualified longevity annuity contract that you can purchase and set up either single life or joint life. And we can structure it so 100% of any unused money goes to the beneficiaries if you die early in the contract, but it's going to pay as long as you're breathing. So that income coming from that qualified longevity annuity contract will fully satisfy that qualified longevity annuity contract asset. At the time of this taping, please check the date because it's going to change. It's 210. You can put $210,000 in that. But let's just say that income stream coming from there, I'm just going to choose a number. Please, this does not apply to you, so don't jump to conclusions. Let's just say that income stream coming from that is $2,000 a month, okay? And the RMDs for that asset of that qualified longevity annuity contract is $1,500 a month. You can take that additional $500 in income and apply it to non-annuity assets. I mean, you can buy immediate annuities inside of an IRA. You can buy income riders inside of an IRA. just understand that in the past, any overage from that asset, so if you bought a, like I said, the QLAC and is kicking off this amount of money income stream, but that's far and above what that RMD is for that asset, that 210 in the QLAC, then you can use the overage with non-annuity assets. I've been yelling at the government to do that for a very, very long time. So that's a good thing that that's happening. But we can help you with that. Again, go to my site and you can schedule a free consultation call. Again, I'm on every single case I'm overseeing. And if you want to directly contact me, Stan at theannuityman.com. Let's go to another question, which is, what is the best way to determine an income floor? Which is a good question. Let's get back to the topic, and then I'm going to weave this back in there. The Iran war and annuities, I think this is a good time to look at creating that income floor, which is for chapter 2 of your life, that pays the bills, gives you enough money to eat out, go see the kids and the grandkids. But let's add things up. In essence, you got to add things up. How much is your Social Security? How much is your pension if you're so fortunate? How much are your RMDs? That's income. How much are you getting from dividends? How much are you getting from rental houses or whatever side hustle you got going on out there? Add all that up. That's your income floor. Then add up your expenses. And if you're way far above that, then great. You probably don't need an annuity. If you're close and you need a little buffer there, then maybe we need to run an immediate annuity quote to shore that up. And if you really have a gap, then that's an immediate annuity. Immediate annuities, just to give you the rules, that can start 30 days after the policy is issued. That's as fast as it can happen. Or you can defer it out for a year. Remember, the older you are, the higher the payment. But if you're going to play the deferral game, you've got to factor in the money that you're not receiving and see how long it's going to take for the time you're deferring. Give you a real case scenario. You can either take Social Security at 62, whatever, up to 70. Let's just say you decide to take it. You're going to wait till 70. That's fine. You know exactly what you're going to get. It's going to be the highest because it's about life expectancy. Remember, it's an annuity. It's the best inflation annuity on the planet. But let's just say that you're going to take it at 65, and you're going to get the payments, and 70 is much higher. You got to factor in those payments that you're getting if you're making the decision whether to turn it on at 65 or 70. It's the same way with annuities. Is there a magic number? No. Just remember, the older you are, the higher the payment, and life expectancy drives the train. And right now, life expectancies tables are in your favor. It's a bargain. And once you lock them in, you locked them in. They can't change them, they meaning the annuity company. So, to answer your question, I love this. It's from Cranky Retired Guy, which is the perfect person for our group and to deal with me. The best way to determine income floor is add everything up that comes in that has nothing to do with the market. That could be dividend stocks, that could be REITs, that could be preferred stock, anything that's kicking off a dividend. And again, the two annuities that you probably own, which Social Security, you definitely own that one, RMDs from your IRA, and if you have a pension. But there's not too many pensions in the world. There's about 9% of the companies or workers out there that have pensions, and most of those are government employees, good labor union might have a pension in place, etc. Federal employees have a pension, but most companies have what's called a defined contribution plan, 401k, 403b, 457, that you're accumulating tax deferred, but at some point in time, you're going to have to take those assets and convert it into an annuity lifetime income stream. Now, your advisor is going to try to talk you out of that, and maybe they're the best advisor in the world, and that's a good thing not to buy an annuity. But the reason that they're trying to talk you out of an immediate annuity or a deferred income annuity or something like that is they can't charge a fee for that. And in the world you're in, and I know what I'm talking about. I was at Dean Witter when the first fee-based accounts were introduced. Up until then, it was purely transactional. So I was there. So with brokerage firms, RIAs, people like that, they make their money on fees, and that's how they actually project and predict future revenue for the company. Okay, so you've got to keep that in mind. The reason they don't want you to lock in is they're going to make the inflation argument, which we already have made, but they're not taking into the account the life expectancy tables getting ready to change and the peace of mind of a guaranteed income stream that's coming in every single month, regardless of what happens in the world. In an Iran war situation, I don't know what the exact number, we actually are looking into this. What's the exact, we sold billions of dollars worth of annuities. Actually, the better way to say that is our clients has purchased that. We don't push anything because annuities are commodity products. There's not one better than the other. The best one is the one that provides the highest contractual guarantee for you. But we're trying to figure out, of all the billions that are in place that we manage, how much of that is creating lifetime income. I can't imagine it being a number, is probably is around $100 million worth of income for our clients that's coming from these annuities that's been purchased for lifetime income. I can tell you that I'm sure that they're concerned about the Iran war, like we all are. We want our soldiers and all those people to be safe, but they're not worried about their income stream at all. So let's see. Let's see if I've got one. There's a couple coming in. Let's look at that. One thing I want to do, I'll get to these in a second. Zeke's behind the camera, the crying Hawaiian, I call him. He's the tech genius behind the camera. Everyone says, why don't you put Zeke in front of the camera? Because he's got a face for radio. That's why. Couple things. I don't want you to focus on the two things I'd love for you to do. And I hope this event that's happening with Iran, because it could get ugly. We all know that. I need you to live for the day. I need you to learn how to spend money that you've never spent, but you have it to spend. Because I guarantee you, your spouse that's put up with you wants to spend a little bit more money. If they want to redo the kitchen. Please stop trying to thread the needle. Please stop letting the IRS live in your head for free and be making decisions on what the IRS is going to tax you. Okay, just on that. Most of you have won the game. Let me paint a picture. You're in an arena. It's you playing. It's you out there with I played college basketball, so let's use that as an example. You're out there, you're dribbling the basketball, but the game's over. You've won the game. Cheerleaders are walking out. The band's walking out. The scoreboard's being turned off, and you're still out there wheeling and dealing, trying to make a shot, trying to make a trade, trying to make more money, trying to beat the system, trying to beat the markets, trying to be a trader. You've won the game. Why are you still playing? We're all eventually, and I need you to take this the right way, eventually all of us are going to end up with two things. Zeke loves this when I say this because it depresses him, and he's not a depressed person. He's from Hawaii. No one in Hawaii. Hawaii people are like the happiest people of all time. I don't know what that's connected to, if there's like some chemistry thing going on there, but what is it, Zeke? I don't know. What I want you to understand is we're all going to end up drooling in a cup and crapping in our pants. I know you're saying, you didn't say that, did you? Yes, I said that. My dad, he was just a bad dude. I mean, he was tough. I remember as a kid going to McDonald's with him, and he goes, order what you want, son. And I went, I want a large fry. I'm like 8 years old. He goes, we can't afford a large fry. What the hell are you doing? I mean, he was a bad dude. But at the end, he was wearing a diaper and drooling on himself, okay? What I'm going to tell you, I need you to listen to me. This event with the Iran war, I hope is a wake-up call. Live your life. If you feel good, spend the money. Go do things you've never done. Check box, okay? Get the check boxes out of the way. All right, I'm off the soapbox. We're back to it. What does the finance annuity use terms loosely? Finance annuity. If you get a lifetime income payment from an immediate annuity and a non-qualified account, most of it is non-taxable, yet you say $2,000 lifetime. I think you are, when I give examples, okay, they're examples. Please don't apply them to you, because to apply them to you, you need to go to my site and run quotes for your specific situation. So you can take that down real quick, Zeke, because it gets confusing. Let me clarify it, because I'm the annuity whisperer. I can do that. Immediate annuity payments, deferred income annuity payments, qualified longevity annuity payments, whatever the lifetime income stream payment, is a combination of return of principal plus interest. In a non-IRA account, in the business we call it non-qualified, in a non-IRA account, okay, and you're taking income, you're not going to pay taxes on the principal that's being returned, and you're going to pay taxes on the interest. Now, hopefully you're going to live forever. I've got thousands of clients that they've drawn their account to zero, and the income's still coming. Why? Because it's a transfer risk. They're going to pay as long as you're breathing and or on a respirator. Okay, and I'm not hoping this for a client, but let's just say a client goes into a coma, is on a respirator for 40 years. Annuity's going to pay. As long as their lungs are filling up with oxygen, okay, it's going to pay. But there is what's called an exclusion ratio, meaning that you're only going to pay taxes on the interest portion of that lifetime income stream until it gets to zero. Once it gets to zero, then it's all taxable. But I think that's what he was talking about with immediate annuities. Again, I've written a book on it. You can get it for free on my site, Single Premium Annuity, Immediate Annuity Owner's Manual, and you can run SPIA quotes 24/7, 365. So next question. Let's do the teachers one, because my parents were both college basketball coaches. That's just a horrific way to grow up, but they ended up being, I guess once they were fired for not winning enough, they ended up being teachers. My wife and our teachers will get pensions and Social Security. We contribute to 401ks voluntarily, and our Roth IRAs are housed in flexible premium deferred annuities. Is this a bad idea? No, it's not a bad idea at all. No, it's not. I think you're doing well. My comment, kind of knowing who you are, because I grew up with two teachers as parents, is enjoy your money. I don't know you, but I'm going to tell you, you're probably living the same way you lived 20 years ago. But I can tell that you've got pensions, great. You've got Social Security, which is a pension, great. They're both annuities. The Roth IRA is fine. You got the flexible premium deferred annuities in there. Not a bad idea. All I would tell you is turn on the income stream from the Roth IRAs. In a perfect world, in the world that I want to live in, Roth IRAs should be for growth. It should be for non-annuity assets. But because you have annuity assets in there, my comment would be, if you have the ability with those policies to turn on a lifetime income stream, turn it on, because it's going to be tax-free. Okay? But it looks like you're great. If you want me to do a deep dive into what you're doing, you can shoot me an email, stan@theannuityman.com. I'll give you a call. We'll go over it. Next question. Doesn't guaranteed lifetime income in the form of a SPIA or QLAC more than any other? I'm researching annuities. Zeke, it's the one right below that. I'm researching annuities. I was researching annuities. I opted for MIGAs versus either of these. I've laddered into MIGAs. MIGAs, just for everyone, just a reminder, that's the annuity version of a CD. Okay, nothing more than that. It's a guaranteed interest rate for a specific period of time. The difference in a non-IRA setting, non-qualified, that interest grows tax deferred. Let's look at both of those from the standpoint. We asked two questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? If you said lifetime income, one of the things about immediate annuities or deferred income annuities or QLACs, those are what's called annuitized annuities. Think about it as ripping the knob off a water faucet. Water's coming. In this case, income is coming. There's no flexibility. You can't turn it off, etc. Income riders are a lifetime income product that have a little bit more flexibility. You can shut it on and off like a light switch, but sometimes they're not as competitive as SPIAs, DIAs, and QLACs. But SPIAs, DIAs, and QLACs are irrevocable lifetime income contracts that we will set up, unless you tell us otherwise, so that 100% of any unused money goes to the listed beneficiary. So the question is, what's better? Should I put it in MIGAs or should I put it in lifetime income? It depends on the goal. You can, with a lot of MIGAs, you can take off the interest, and that can be considered income, but it's not a lifetime income stream. It's for that duration. But if you want to protect the principal, keep your powder dry, keep control over the money, then a MIGA definitely does work. If you're talking about lifetime income stream pension, then SPIAs, DIAs, and QLACs work, income riders work. But I would encourage you to either go down the rabbit hole with you can go to my YouTube page and just type in a product and just watch video after video. You can go to my site and download the owner's manuals and do that. You can schedule a call with us, which isn't a hammer looking for a nail. We're going to listen to you, ears and mouth of proportion, 2-to-1, or you can email me at stan@theannuityman.com and have just a straightforward conversation. You might be sitting there going, man, this dude hadn't taken a breath and he can just go 100 miles an hour all the time. But that's not what we do here from a standpoint. We don't, this is where people come to buy annuities. There's no urgency to buy an annuity. The urgency is doing what you're doing right now, is to understand how they work, the good, the bad, the limitations, and the benefits. Next one, Zeke, that's for you. Let's just put that up there. It's the Aloha Spirit. Zeke, I don't want to pry, but does that have anything to do with, say, marijuana? No, it does. He's saying no. He comes in every morning and he has this concoction. I call it lava juice. Nobody in the office knows what it is except Zeke. But all I know is he walks around happy. You know, Zeke's one of those guys that there's nobody to get mad at Zeke. I mean, Zeke could be like the guy that punches you and you go, hey, man, that's okay. I forgive you. Next question. Let's just do that one. Zeke, pop it. I'm doing a 1035 exchange to a SPIA where I have to keep me as the owner and single annuitant. Annuitant means who the payment's being based off the life expectancy of that. I want to protect my wife after a 25-year period certain. How do I do this? And what about the spousal continuation? Okay, let's talk about what you're talking about setting up, which is life with 25-year period certain. So it's going to pay as long as you're breathing, but let's just take some examples. The 25-year period certain means that's the minimum amount of years paid. And you can get 5-year period certain, 10-year, 20-year, whatever you want, 30-year, whatever. The longer the period certain, the lower they're going to lower the payment, because that's the guarantee. So if you lived 10 years and died, there'd be 15 more years of payments. If you lived 17 years and died, there'd be 8 more years of payments. The way to have the spouse continue the income for as long as they're breathing is for it to be joint ownership. We certainly can walk you through that. I would encourage you to consider through us life with cash refund or life with installment refunds, the most efficient way to make sure that 100% of the money is going to go to somebody in the family. Cash refund means that it's going to go lump sum to the beneficiary. Installment refund means that it's going to go in payment form until the money's exhausted. I do installment refund for my daughters as beneficiaries because I want them to be making payments on the Lamborghini and the Ferrari, not buying it with cash. Okay, so the 25-year period certain attached to a life is fine, okay, but it's not end-all be-all. You know, I would want to run a bunch of quotes for you, and then let's do some comparisons on how they're pricing, how these companies are pricing it. One thing about lifetime income, and you need to know this, especially with SPIAs, DIAs, and QLACs, companies that offer these have what's called tranches. Think about your portfolio: small cap, mid cap, large cap, international, value, okay? With an insurance company, it's 55 to 60, 60, 65, etc., and they're trying to fill the tranches. If that specific life insurance company has that tranche filled, then that quote is going to be lower than their competitors because they don't need to fill it. If they need to fill it, they're going to raise that contractual guarantee to attract you. It's really that simple. It's the reason I say commodities, these are commodity products, because we shop all carriers, because at any point in time, very good companies are going to want your age range in that tranche. Remember, life insurance companies know when we're going to die. That's the reason they have the big buildings. Nod your head, okay? And the other thing that you need to understand is property and casualty companies don't know when the hurricane's going to hit. So that's the reason that they come and go. Life insurance companies are strong because they know when we're going to die. Next question. Are the upcoming life expectancy table changes? Here's what's going to happen. Now, and let me explain it again. Once again, I'm not glad the war started, but it gives us the opportunity to really think and focus, okay? Artificial intelligence is going to shorten the medical breakthroughs, okay? GLP-1s, the weight loss drugs, are going to make people skinnier and healthier. We can have arguments about side effects, whatever. So if all of these breakthroughs are going to make you live longer, that means your life expectancy will be longer, which means there'll be more payments, which means those payments will be lower. So right now, as we speak, time of taping, this isn't a sales pitch, this is reality. Lifetime income is a bargain. Once the annuity companies can prove that all of these breakthroughs are linked in life expectancy tables, they're going to lengthen it out and it's going to be against you. Right now, they're in your favor. When all the AI hits, it's going to be outside your favor, but right now they're in your favor. And if you lock them in now, they're not going to ever change. So you're going to lock in some great, great life expectancy tables in your favor right now. Put up, thank you, sir. You're welcome. Put up the next one. Are there any tax advantages to annuitizing a tax-deferred 5-year MIGA at the end of the 5-year term? let's talk about that. I call that MYGA to SPIA. So you're taking a MYGA, a fixed rate annuity, the annuity industry version of a CD. At the end of the term, you're going to convert it into a lifetime income stream. What I'm going to tell you to do, recommended by Stan the Annuity Man, I know what I'm doing, is we're going to shop all immediate annuity carriers right then for the highest contractual guarantee, because we're going to do a non-taxable event transfer. I don't care what account it is, Roth, IRA, non-IRA, into the highest paying immediate annuity. What we have found is the MYGA that you're at, they do not offer the best immediate annuity annuitization quote. So you're not going to stay there 99% of the time. We're going to transfer it to the highest contractual guarantee. So going back to the previous answer, because the companies are always filling those tranches, we're going to choose one that's going to be wanting your age range at that time. We will just facilitate that transfer, okay? So, I mean, that's a really good question. Let me cover a couple more things, and then we'll try to close her up here. I don't really have a time frame. I just kind of go. I got to take a breath now and again, right? You know what I'm saying? I truly think that if I have a hope for 2026 and beyond, is to teach my clients that have been frugal and that have saved and threaded the needle and done without, and is to spend. You might have heard this, but I use this as an example with my parents. When my parents were older, etc., and for the 20 plus years where they were kind of vibrant and retired, etc. My mom's still alive. She's 87, getting ready to be 87. They would go to a restaurant. They wouldn't order a drink because they thought drinks were too expensive. And if you're saying, yeah, they are expensive, they used to get water, and then they used to get lemons, squeeze the lemon in the water, and then get sweet and low and put it in there, and they called it table lemonade. Please don't make table lemonade. Buy the drink. Forget carpe diem. Buy the drink. I need you to learn how to spend and enjoy the money that you've scrimped and saved to get. I know that's hard. That's a hard thing to do, but I need you to think about it. One of you, if you're married, there's one of you that wants to do that. The other one, maybe not. So let's look at next question. Zeke, when did the life expectancy tables change? If you plan to live to 95 but now have a cancer diagnosis, how does that affect a decision to buy a lifetime income annuity? The life expectancy tables aren't going to change. The next time they're going to change is going to be, in my opinion, because of artificial intelligence and the GLP-1s forcing them to change. That's my opinion on how that happens. If you plan to live to age 95 and you have a cancer diagnosis, there is something called a medically approved single premium immediate annuity. They're very hard to get, but in essence, what you're doing is proving to the life insurance company that's issuing the immediate annuity that you aren't going to live longer, which means they're going to shorten the life expectancy table for you because of the details that you've provided, and then that will raise the payment. Boy, it's hard. You got to be really, really sick to get that medically approved single premium immediate annuity. But if you have a cancer diagnosis, that's very tough. You also can do what's called a period certain immediate annuity that pays for a specific period of time. But I truly believe that the value proposition is life, but no good answer to that. And I hope that's not you. I hope that's a hypothetical. And if it is, Godspeed. I hope you do well. So next one. I like this one. Appreciate you, Stan. I was taking some notes and missed some of what you had to say. Are we able to listen to this again later? Yes, everyone who signed up for this, Zeke, the Hawaiian marketing freak, the crying Hawaiian, one of the best dudes on the planet, he's going to be sending you that email with the link, and you can rewatch it to your heart's content. It'll also be posted to my YouTube channel as well. One of the reasons we like doing the live events, it gives people that want to interact with me. You can interact with me, but you can do that via email if you want to, stan@theannuityman.com. And if you want to connect by phone, I'll shoot you my cell phone number, and you can give me a call after you do that. And remember, I'll ship you a hat as well. The Stan the Annuity Man hat. We have light blue. Please don't do what a guy did the other day. Hey, I really like the light blue, but I'm a South Carolina fan. I need maroon. I'm like, slow down, player. This isn't a store. I'm giving stuff away. So next one. Put this up, Zeke. Come on. What are they saying? Mahalo, Zeke. What's he? He's like doing something like this. He's either got the twitches or he's saying hello. Zeke's getting a fan base. People always say, come on, man, be nice to Zeke. Listen, Zeke's taken care of. Okay, Zeke, like, he rolls in here in the morning in a Tesla like just like he owns the place. Board shorts, flip-flops. Now, see, he can do that because he's smart. You know, I'm buying IQ. I'm certainly not buying clothes with Zeke. Zeke's chill. So, no, that's been fun. Let's do a couple of other things as if there's a couple of questions. I'm not sure I'm going to take them. You can take. That came through my email. I can respond to that later. Put that one up, Zeke. I don't know what that is. Chaka. What's Chaka, Zeke? I don't know what Chaka's like. It's like Chaka Zulu. What is that, Zeke? That was like Chaka was in Land of the Lost. It was like this thing I watched on the Saturday morning thing, and his name was Chaka. I don't think that's what they're talking about, you know? Just remember, contractual guarantees only. In this time where we're at the time of this taping, it's time for you to consider that. You know, I watch the news. I flip around. It's amazing how you can watch one channel and the war's going great. You watch another channel, the war's going horrible, and then you watch another channel and they're not sure we're in war. I'm like, what are we talking about? You know, but there will be an event in this country eventually. I mean, the last event that happened was 9/11. That's an event on this country. You know, my hope is that doesn't happen. But my question to you is, if it does, do you have a plan? I mean, do you have a plan? Do you have a plan to de-risk your portfolio now, to go to the sidelines? Do you have a plan to put in an income floor? Do you have that plan? Or are you just watching? Are you trying to trade it? Are you okay if the markets go down 20% and you're down 20% of your net worth? Are you okay with that? You might be. But these questions have to be asked. I'll put this next one up, Zeke. What are you doing with your hands? Well, first of all, this is a great story, Zeke. We're going to digress here. Zeke's trying to teach me how to do all the Hawaiian hand signals. There's one with one finger in the middle that I don't understand. He keeps shooting that to me. But I want you to look at this finger. People always say, Stan, what happened to your hand? Okay, so look at that finger right there. This one. Okay. It's all, as my wife says, it's all cattywampus. What happened was, you know, I played basketball. You know, when you grow up with the parents that both are basketball coaches, it's, hey, guess what we're doing today? Basketball. But I tried to reach in a game and steal a ball, and this finger went, and it was like this. So it went dislocated, okay? It hurt, and I was like, ooh, that hurts. So I go over the sideline, and you know what the coach did? He grabbed it and yanked it back. He grabbed it and yanked it back and popped it back into place. But the problem with that is now I can't bend it because that's it right there. So thanks, coach. Appreciate that. He's like, tape it up, go back in. And of course, my dad's like, yeah, tape it up, go back in. I'm like, I broke my finger. But that's the reason this dangler is out here. Put the next one up. Zeke, it's about you. I love it. No, I meant Chaka is what you were doing with your hands. Why lifelong friends since. Is that true, Zeke? Is that what I was doing with my hands? Okay, Chaka. All right. Listen, do me a favor. Once again, go to theannuityman.com, or you can type in stantheannuityman.com. It's both going to take you to the same place. But interact with us, run quotes, download the books, watch the videos, and if you want me personally, yes, I do respond. Last time I did this, Zeke, I don't know, it's like 1,000 emails, but I will respond to them. I've been married 37 years. What else you got to do? You know what I'm saying? Nothing against my wife, but she's buying furniture and shoes somewhere. Stan at theannuityman.com. Stan at theannuityman.com. We're going to do another one next month. Don't know what the topic's going to be, but I hope you join us, and we'll send you the replay after this. I think it's going out tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. My name is Stan the Annuity Man.